First off, I'd like to thank these amazing people who decided to support me directly and make my work here on the platform so much easier. And remember, if you also want to help me out, the missile knows where the join button is at all times. Hello pilots, welcome back. How have your battles been? Mine have been going well. Today I'm flying the Mirage 2005E from the Chinese tree, which in realistic battles is almost the same as the French 2005F. A curious fact about these two Mirages is that they're the second and third best jets in air RB, right behind guess which plane? That's right, the controversial Rafale. But at least in terms of performance, there's nothing about the Mirage 2000 that really explains those rankings. It performs well, but it's balanced, since it has both positives and negatives compared to its counterparts, which are also modernized fourth-gen jets. Looking at the situation we're in right now, I asked myself, does the MICA really make that much of a difference? To answer that, I decided to play with the Chinese Mirage, where I can sometimes end up against Rafales depending on matchmaking's mood. So, let's go hunting. Just like the Rafale, which even with all that performance is still less favored in BVR scenarios, I'm even worse off because I'm in a Mirage 2000. So unlike the Rafale, which can try 1 or 2 BVR plays at the start of a match, I can't even think about doing that. First, I usually don't have the speed to give my MICA that big boost, and if I try, my jet turns into a brick. So to stay safe, I always go for defensive or passive spots. Of course, every rule has an exception, and sometimes you'll break the pattern. But if you decide to go against this rule often, let me know in the comments how it turned out. I'll be genuinely curious to hear. So following that rule, I'll always watch my team's positioning and the enemy's, then try to push through the flanks, always prioritizing perpendicular routes. That way I can stay active in the match while also working with my teammates. All that blah blah in your head since the video started, I've been doing that the whole time. I already see a Rafale up ahead that probably won't show up on the footage, so I'm gonna close in a bit and fire my first Fox 3. Look at how much effort it takes to dodge a single MICA. I lost almost half my speed, had to pull a hard turn, and dump a good amount of chaffs, all for one missile. Meanwhile, the Rafale made a tiny notch mistake and died. So the question is, what's the bigger issue here? The artificial advantage the missile gets, or the jet itself? I also think you guys already get the concept of positioning, so instead of just flying around idle the whole time, I'll be right back. Alright, a Eurofighter probably armed with C5 is trying to hunt me. I don't think it's smart to get close to a Mirage that's already aware of him. I'll find out if he's right or wrong in a few seconds. Even though the start of the match is a bit boring for the Mirage, we did our job. We took out some targets that were set up for a strong mid and late game, and I don't see many more enemies positioned like that. So now it's just a matter of hunting down the remaining targets. In this case, they were all heading toward where my teammates were clustered since the furball hadn't formed yet, so it's easy to know where to go. With that change in aspect the Rafale made, especially during multipathing, all the other Fox 3s would have missed, but the MICA didn't even lose lock and ended up taking him out. That's it. There's no cleaner match to start the video. Practically zero effort and an ace in hand. Even with low fuel, I'm pretty sure I can take out the last target with a magic. He can already see me, but there's plenty of terrain here for a safe approach. The only way this gets really dangerous is if he tries to close in while gaining altitude. Alright, we saw that it's easy to play him on passive and defensive routes, but what I really like is playing the Mirage aggressively. That's what I'm gonna do from this match onward. Like you saw in the last game, the Eurofighter tried to pull me and paid for it. The Mirage is insanely strong, played that way, and if you act smart, it gets even better because you can influence people into getting taken out by your MICA. And here I am, in a super aggressive spot, going head-on with the entire enemy team. The only thing I really need to do well is know when to turn back. Even though the Mirage is really strong in this kind of play, you won't survive if 8 guys dive on you at once. So managing your speed and giving efficient notches at range is a minimum requirement. After firing, I draw a lot more attention, but it doesn't matter because I'm already cold, at a safe distance from most enemies, and I still get a frag in the pocket. Here I can't play as aggressively because my team had some trouble pushing our side, so now the priority is to at least try to play with my allies. After I got the ace, the remaining enemies were kind of at a disadvantage, and what was expected happened. They all got shot down. Only 2 guys made it back to the airfield. That would be great if I still had Fox 3s, but I only have magics. Still, playing like an F-22, anything's possible, so let's make this approach carefully. I also got lucky that the guy defended against my ally on the right side, that is, giving me his 6 o'clock. That already messes with his situational awareness a bit. The next target should be taking off now, so it's going to be even easier to handle him. I can't just burn all my altitude advantage and rush straight at the target. Remember, haste makes waste. I need to stay composed and wait for the right moment. Alright, gentlemen, next match looks like it's going to be a rough one. I took a quick look, and to sum it up, my team is individually weaker than theirs. Their guys generally perform a bit better than almost everyone on my side. So let's see what the Mirage can cook up in a 14.3 match while at a disadvantage. The map is Mysterious Valley, covered by a giant carpet of clouds, which makes everything even harder, because doing multipathing in these conditions isn't exactly ideal. That forces me to face AIM 120s and R77-1s at range, so I'm basically nerfed right from the start. Taking this guy down is taking a bit longer than I'd like. He's not making it easy for me to get closer. He can notch really well, so what I can do is extend and wait for a better chance. Since he's not firing at me, he's probably focused on other teammates and most likely lost sight of me. Yeah, that's it. He wasn't gonna dodge forever, but the situation's kinda rough. I already burned through half my missiles, but I managed to get 1.5 frags. Man, I'm pretty sure there are at least 20 hostile Fox 3s ready to lock on me. What I can do is take a defensive stance and try to grab more MICAs at the airfield. Fighting with Magic 2 isn't really ideal here. And there goes the plan. This Su-30's really not gonna let me get back home. I think it's good for now. If I had a bit more fuel, I'd stay to hunt the last Sukhoi that's still alive, but the safer play is really just heading back home. Well, I got a few pings from the Sukhoi while taking off, and then my RWR went silent. That means he could pop out from those mountains any second. So, as you guys saw, the Mirage is a solid performance plane, but it's nothing special compared to what's out there today. Right now, its BR is 14.0. Ignoring the missiles, it actually underperforms compared to a lot of 13.7 planes. The Mirage doesn't have the best radar either, but it's still usable. It's literally only the second best plane in Air RB because of how the MICA works in the game right now. I think that's kinda obvious, right? The Mirage would easily be a 13.7 plane if the MICA warhead had the same sensitivity as any other missile in the game. Considering the MICA's balance, the Rafale would be a strong plane too. After all, it's a recent platform from late 2022, so it's supposed to be good. But it wouldn't be anywhere near the 70% win rate it has now. That win rate would drop even more if it faced proper competition or went up against itself, like you saw in one of the few matches that actually taught something, which was against a Rafale. It struggles against its own missile. While I was recording this, I ran into a lot of matches against Rafales, and all those matches went almost the same way. That's not normal. If the Rafale in the game can't even handle its own missile, what's that saying? I'll leave this question for you to think about on your own. Of course, this is just my argument, but you gotta be critical too, have your own thoughts, and ask your own questions. Now, as usual, I'm dedicating this last match to those who like to watch, where I'll say goodbye at the end, so stick with me. Alright folks, that's all for today. Hope you liked it. Do you agree or disagree with anything I said? Tell me down in the comments. Your feedback is super important to me. The video ends, but the chat stays. Karma out.